When life is difficult, adopt a greater perspective. The greatest perspective is a cosmic perspective. From that viewpoint, our problems here on Earth seem quite insignificant and easy to overcome. When you find yourself stuck in life, stop, get present, relax, and widen out. Welcome, friends. Let me get this off. We are here. The question I'm presenting: how am I supposed to create when all I see is destruction? Who can relate to this, especially if you accidentally caught the news or current events or any of that stuff? It is very discouraging right now. And my question is, how am I supposed to create? How am I supposed to add value to a world that seems to be literally losing its mind and spiraling into who knows what, World War III? That's the word that keeps being thrown about very casually as if it was not a big deal. Anyway, let's get to this. I'm here to empower diehard experts and entrepreneurs serving the greater good. We need to basically cut and run from the status quo, from the collective consciousness. Cut and run. That's going to be the theme of this live here today. So stick around as we unpack the fundamentals of attention. In other words, what's the most important thing to be focusing on right now? Well, fundamentals of being human has taught me that our attention is the most valuable, most priceless asset each and every human being has, yet doesn't realize it. They erroneously believe that money is the ultimate power, or that power over others is the ultimate power. But what if it was simpler than that? What if it was built-in equity? Because that's what I'm talking about here. Then the only distinction between me, you, and everybody else is how much free attention you have accessed in your life, if it is something that is powerful. But we'll dive into that right here in a second. I just realized that's kind of vague, and I wanted to explain a little bit more what it means. If you've been on and seen any of my content or any of my lives, I talk a lot about attention and personal responsibility. They're at the foundation of the Found Fun Discovery Method, which really starts with personal responsibility and a present moment perspective. That's it. The two most important elements. You get those down and you will see miracles in your life. Let's dive in. I would really appreciate you showing your support by following, liking, and sharing this live, my profile, my page, obviously my YouTube channel as well. Any type of engagement that you can muster up is going to help me get the word out to other people. We're all in the same boat right now. That's what the war hawks that want World War III and want to start another conflict in the Middle East. These people, they don't think they're in the same boat as you, me, and everybody else. That is a problem. To all for one and one for all. That is something that as a whole, we could use more of in our lives, especially those that are endowed with power, wealth, money. I'm talking to you right now directly. If you're here watching, you have an extra responsibility to humanity, just as I have an extra responsibility to humanity regarding my free attention and putting it to good use. I would love to just turn this into a me venture and it be all about my success, my progress, my growth, my well-being. But that's not coming from a cosmic viewpoint which I showed earlier in this video, which includes everyone. We're all in the same boat. We've got to solve these things together, people. You cannot allocate, what's the word? You cannot outsource your participation in your life. There is a certain amount of participation that you're going to want to have in your life. And if you're going to pick and choose, let what's happening in our country politically, I know it's a hot spot. I know people are like, I don't want to hear any more politics. And yes, it's been crammed down our throat. But what if that was the smell that they were emitting to get you to be turned off at the process, to get you to be uninterested? Oh, who am I? What can I do? I'm only one vote. I don't have a super PAC. I don't have, billions of dollars like a corporation. I can't influence anything. What if that was the agenda? To get you so uninterested in our government created by the people, for the people. What if they just want you to not be involved in that at all? Are you going to stand by? Or are you going to fully participate in life? I'm all over the place, not even following my notes. Please like, follow, support. I really appreciate that engagement and getting the word out, waking people up so that they can be more of an equal player in our common wealth. Now I see where that word comes from, right? Our common well-being. It's possible. We just have to see it, commit to it, and realize it, make it happen. The current reality is not ideal. And if it is ideal for you and not ideal for a lot of other people, that's not ideal. You can't live in a bubble forever. You're going to want to interact with others eventually. And at a certain point, I can tell you it's a lot more fun to interact with people that are unlike you. They don't have the same wealth that you have. They don't have the same freedom you have. They don't have the same viewpoint or beliefs or values. That's when life gets really interesting. But if you insulate yourself by a small group of the same kind of people, you won't have the space to bring in those new and diverse viewpoints and beliefs and values to add to your life if you so choose. Okay, now I've asked you for a lot. I am here to give back. If you're watching this live, or if you're watching the replay, for those that attend this live or the replay, I'm giving away a complimentary taste of a present moment perspective. All you have to do is leave a hashtag found fun below. I forgot to mention that earlier. As I go through this video and we explore together the fundamentals of being human, anytime I share something that stands out and resonates with you, I'm going to ask you to put a hashtag found fun down below. That enters you in the drawing, but it also informs me as to what is valuable and what my audience wants to hear more of. At the end of the day, if this doesn't resonate with anyone, then I'm just a kook. But I'm certain that it does resonate. It resonates with my ideal clients, the people that really believe in more than meets the eye, really believe in a future of prosperity, a utopian future of prosperity where everyone wins and nobody loses. It's up to us to create that future. Let's start right now, firstly, by being honest and real about what's not ideal. And then putting a little bit of ourselves behind that conviction, right? It's very convenient to be hands off these days and think that, oh, well, I don't have to show up. Nobody else has to show up. Enough people do that, and that's how things are irrevocably changed in our world. And then the next thing you know, no more America. Is that what you want? I certainly don't. We are a model for the species of humanity. a higher level of governance, probably the most recent aside from all the other governments that took our model and ran with it. So give yourself the gift of a firsthand experience, of a present moment perspective. Now, if you happen to be ambitious like my ideal clients and you don't want to wait or go through the process of joining my mailing list to get the invitation and the instructions that way, because that's what will happen when you put a hashtag found fun below, I will message you with the details on how to redeem that complimentary taste for present moment perspective. If you don't want to wait on that process, then I encourage you to dive right in. I created a fast action bonus. Share this live right here, right now, with one friend, and then just message me done. The moment I see your message and confirm through the analytics you shared this video, then I will message you. I will respond with my calendar link. We'll book it. It's done. You can move on with the rest of your life knowing full well that you have a complimentary firsthand experience of a present moment perspective awaiting you on my schedule. That's the fast action bonus. Take advantage of it. Moving on. Who's this guy? Who am I? Oh, for starters, I am the childhood survivor of a triple homicide. That set me on this path of self-realization. I had some things happen to me in my life that were just unacceptable. And there was no good answers for why this happened to me. It put me on the mission to answer the big questions in life. Like, what's the purpose of life? Why are we here? Is there any purpose behind any of this, or is it all random chaos? Through that process and 2 decades of firsthand experience, I developed the Found Fun Discovery Method. The foundation of that method is personal responsibility and a present moment perspective. Those two are at the very core of everything I teach people. Learning that about yourself will set you light years ahead of the competition. Not that we're competing with each other, we're competing with ourselves. But in the current reality, it's dog eat dog, ego versus ego, win lose. You want to be winning. This will set you apart from the competition. You will be at the next evolutionary step for humanity before the rest of humanity arrives. That is what I would call a huge leg up. So my name is Keith. I am a personal private chef, former, now that I've decided to fully focus on empowering diehard experts and entrepreneurs, serving the greater good to have even more impact in our world by introducing them to a present moment perspective where they can access unlimited power, infinite well-being, superhuman focus, and concentration, unlike anything you've experienced before. It's been called the present moment. The most recent one I hear a lot of is the flow state. Athletes talk about being in the zone. You've been there before and you've experienced this before, most likely not deliberately. It just happened to you out of left field. You could have been doing some extreme sports or been in a life-threatening situation like I was. That will wake you up. Trust me. There is no better way to wake up than having your whole world turned upside down. So with that being said, can you see how we are poised collectively to awaken because the whole world looks turned upside down? At least that's what I'm seeing. I would love to hear from you down below. What are you seeing? What is your perception of our state of affairs? Or are you just avoiding it like everybody else? See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. I did it backwards. Speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. Speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. Doesn't work. That's just denial. That's just the proverbial burying your head in the sand. It's not going to save you. We have to about face and face our challenges in life, conquer them, and replace them, put in place something greater than what was there before. In other words, I am Morpheus to your Neo. Do you feel like you're an anomaly in the system? Remember how Neo was accused of being an anomaly? He would never cooperate with the grand architect. He was always had his own mind, his own thoughts, and he was never going along with the programming. Well, if you are a Neo, if you feel like a disruptor, an anomaly in our system, and that you're here to do something extraordinary and special with your life, then I am your Morpheus here to set you on the path to realizing your greatness. That's who I am, this guy, if you want a visual. Remember, all I offer is the truth, nothing more. Oops. What did I just... Now I'd like to hear a little bit about you. Where are you watching from? What's your passion? A lot of people will be tuning into this. It's going on multiple channels around the world. So take this opportunity to do a little networking. Introduce yourself. Where are you watching from? I love to hear where people are watching me from. Sometimes it's some far off places. That's just really mind-blowing. You know, I have a couple friends in Australia. Right now, the sun is shining as bright as it could over here on this side of the planet, but it's nighttime over there. I mean, mind-blowing. So share with me, where are you from? Where are you watching from? And as far as networking goes, what is your passion? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Because you never know who's going to come along and read these comments and go, hey, I've been looking for somebody that has that exact same passion. Well, this is your opportunity. Advertise often whatever it is you're passionate about, whatever you value, whatever it is you're willing to die for. Let it be known to the world. This is character. This is substance. It's chutzpah. So my question to you, if the world jumped off the cliff, would you too? Remember when we were told this as kids? If Billy jumped off a cliff, would you do it too? The whole idea of peer pressure. Well, here we go. Peer pressure on a global level. Would you jump if the world jumped off a cliff? If the world went into war, would you go too? Or would you say something? That's the point, right? Not enough people are speaking up. I'm talking to everybody, including myself. I might be here live streaming my viewpoint and my concerns for us as a whole, but I could be doing more. Heck, until I'm like Jesus and I'm out there with my ministry, walking from town to town and speaking to groups of people all the time and performing miracles, any of that stuff, then there's more to be done. This is the ultimate question. Let's just assume for a second that the world took a turn for the worst. How are you going to feel not doing anything versus how are you going to feel if you did your best to counter that, to prevent that? If you threw your full weight behind our success as a whole, our prosperity, our endurance, our continuation, that's the kind of stuff that will make you jump out of bed every day, any day. So if you're not one of those followers that would follow the world off of a cliff, then you must be a leader of yourself first and foremost. That's where leadership starts. Yep, I just said it. You can't be a good leader of others if you're not a good leader of yourself. In fact, when you do take on that role with others, you're just duplicating yourself. You're duplicating that experience. Excuse me. It's about the same outcome. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But bottom line, as a leader of yourself, that's where it starts. So if it was solely up to you, what would you decide for the world? Would you decide what the world is deciding right now? Or would you be making different decisions? That's the thing to recognize. The diversity on this planet is also in our viewpoints. It's also in our values and principles. It's also in our thoughts, our desires. Diversity shows up in many, many places besides race. So let's just not stick to the shallow surface and go even deeper when it comes to diversity. Let's start now. Let's explore 3 reasons why learning to focus our attention matters. Why does that matter? This was my thumbnail that I put up when I announced this event on events, which seems to never get traction. If anyone has any tips on how to get the most out of that, I would appreciate it, because it doesn't seem to be working for me. Aside from announcing this individually to all my friends and sending out a whole bunch of messages, I'm not quite sure what to do with that. Anyway, this is what I used when I announced the event, and it really speaks volumes to what we're looking at right now, right? Where your attention is focused matters. Why does it matter? Let's explore 3 reasons why learning to focus your attention matters. If you can see here, this is a visual representation of a split. Have you heard of, what is it? The psychology term, schizophrenia. Have you heard of schizophrenia? Split personalities, stuff like that. That is being demonstrated right here. So when you are focused on the problem, guess what you're not focused on? And when you're focused on the solution, guess what doesn't grab your attention and take you down? This is why it's so important to develop the muscle. Can't see my arm. The muscle of focusing your attention. The muscle of focusing your attention. Your attention can only be directed in one direction at a time. Multitasking doesn't work. You're kind of just focusing in one place at a time, even when you multitask. Let me get rid of this so my full, beautiful face is on display. Let's explore. Three reasons why learning to focus our attention matters. You're like, get on with it already. Okay, I am. Let's go. Number 1, leverage. Who wants more leverage in their life? Huh? A lot of people leverage their wealth. A lot of people leverage their influence. A lot of people leverage their relationships. Well, this is another form of leverage, because when it comes to developing that muscle of attention focus, where's that happening? It's happening inside. Now, if it was a truth that our attention created our reality, then can you see how deliberately developing, working out your attention focus muscle is going to result in you having more leverage over the outcome of what you're creating in your life. Don't you want to hedge your bet? Well, I am presenting to you another way you can hedge your bet and leverage your own innate abilities. And why do we want to do that? Like, how is it that attention in and of itself is leverage? Well, let's look at it. There's a couple of fundamentals playing out here in regards to this. When it comes to leverage, part of it is a matter of setting yourself apart. What am I talking about? You might have seen this before. I used it last week. This is my visual representation of it still doesn't come up. Well, I'm not going to get rid of my logo even if it doesn't come up. What we're looking at here is an iceberg of human consciousness. This is the average human being right here. What you see sticking up out of the surface, sticking up at the surface, the visible part of that iceberg is what you're conscious of. That's the part of you that's awake. That's the part of you that is deliberate, on purpose, not reactive, not automatic, deliberate. But do you see the ratio there? Your conscious self is that big, and your unconscious, or in this picture it says subconscious, but below subconscious is unconscious. There's a lot more of that. So when it comes to setting yourself apart, you can access this much stored, unrealized power than the average person that is operating from the surface level, right up here, just barely aware of themselves. They haven't done any meditating. They don't do any sort of spiritual work. They're just very shallow people. I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of these people in the world. It's their karma. I'm not going to fault them. I'm not going to judge them, just as much as I am a profound, deep thinker. There's people that are not, and that's wonderful. In fact, I'm starting to gain appreciation for that. It's the whole idea of ignorance is bliss. That came from firsthand experience. There is a certain level of bliss involved in not being concerned with matters greater than yourself. That's what we're talking about. And that's the ultimate decision every human being has to make. But I'm going to venture to say that at this space-time, as we go into the age of Aquarius, this is the time when a lot of us came here with a mission and a purpose, because humanity needs that extra push over the finish line. And there's a lot of people existing today that heard that calling. If that's you, I want to hear from you. Drop a hashtag found fun below or send me a message. Let's start a conversation. This is the time to unite the light. All of us world changers, all the light workers, love walkers, we've got to start to come together. And the best way to do that is to agree on fundamentals, principles, and values. So set yourself apart from the competition in the world that is not developed. They're happy living on the surface. God bless them. But then there's you, my ideal clients, diehard experts and entrepreneurs that are not happy settling for just an average, insignificant, shallow, fleeting life. You want to make the most of it, like I do. Okay, moving on. Leverage and set yourself apart. And like I've mentioned, attention creates. Attention creates our reality. How do I prove this? I can't. Only you can prove this to you. So here's my exercise that I want you to practice, okay? Pick one thing. I don't know. It doesn't. Let me see if it matters. I'm just feeling my way through this. Pick one thing that's important to you. That'll help because there's already gravity in place. It's already got an emotional charge to it because it's important to you. Pick something that's important to you, and throughout the rest of today, I want you to notice how often your attention is on that subject, on that object, whatever it is you deem important in your life. I want you to notice for the remainder of this day how often your attention goes there. Or, by contrast, how little it goes there. This is how I prove to myself that attention creates my reality. If I give something enough attention, I'm talking about the obsessive kind of attention that you see a super fan giving a celebrity. When I give that much attention to my heart's desires, to what it is I'm deciding to create in my reality, it happens. Without a doubt, it happens. The timing of it can differentiate. The timing of it can be different, all depending on how much resistance and how much doubt I have regarding that object or subject that I'm manifesting or realizing. Some things it's easy, just like that, right? Other things, it might take a little longer, but that doesn't mean to stop. You keep asserting, keep flooding attention, gathering your scattered attention, scooping it up, concentrating it into a point, and then boom, delivering it to that reality that you choose to manifest, to bring to life. You want a bonus? Let me hear from you down below. Drop a hashtag bonus so that I get that engagement. Most important thing. I love it when you guys are interacting here. It really helps. All right, there you go. Bonus time. Attention directs attention. I put this as the bonus because this is a doozy. This is more evidence of the fundamentals of being human, specifically attention. Now, the way it was first described to be by my mentor, and then I practiced and I realized it, was go out in public, find a crowd. The tighter, the better. Get yourself in that crowd. Like, become part of that crowd. And then at the right time, when everyone's focused on something else, I want you to shift your attention very deliberate. Everyone's focused over here. I want you to put your attention over there. Or in this case, what really works is up. Put your attention, look up. Like, what's going on up there? As soon as you do that, I want you to pay attention to what everybody around you starts to do. And notice the critical mass taking place as more and more people look up. What's he looking at? I don't know. You see something? Let me look. No, what's he looking at? For long, that whole crowd will be looking up instead of looking at what they were looking at before, because attention directs attention. The more presence you have, the more command you have. Speakers know this. Speakers know that being present on stage is commanding of attention. That audience is there waiting, just like an orchestra, to be directed by whoever's on the stage. This is the kind of stuff that is more fundamental under the surface of what's really going on the surface. If you're a speaker, you might get advice on the tone of voice or warming up, or imagine imagine the audience is in their underwear. That's like an old one going back, right? A lot of these external recommendations. What I'm pointing out here is how the interiority, the internal reality, is influencing that outcome. Attention directs attention. This is what fads are. This is what popular is. Enough attention, and then it starts to snowball. That's the critical mass, right? So how does this pertain to what we are talking about today? Well, if the whole world jumped off a cliff, would you too? That's the point I'm making. If the whole world directed their attention towards World War III, would you do it too? Would you just join the parade? Or would you say, no, I'm focusing elsewhere? When you can become more of an authority over your own attention, you have just accessed the ultimate power in creation here, in the physical plane, your own attention. Learning to direct it, learning to concentrate it. The more you concentrate your attention, the more gravity it has, the more other people's attention you can direct. That's the whole point with a prophet like Jesus Christ or Martin Luther King or any other magnanimous Robert Kennedy Jr. It's the realization that they represent something greater than themselves. That's the point I'm making. That's one way to really concentrate your attention so that you can direct more of people's attention, right? That's the whole point of social proof when it comes to doing business online, right? You want to get a lot of good reviews or testimonials. It starts a momentum, starts building that, and then pretty soon you become just the go-to authority in that arena. But it starts here. Attention directs attention. Now, if I'm talking to you about something you don't have experience with, I won't want to hear from you down below, because in my day-to-day interactions with people, not a lot of people are even aware of these fundamentals. They just have never been invited to explore this deeply, the meaning of life. And it's amazing to see them open up and how they come to life. When I propose to them, do you believe you create your reality? Do you believe your viewpoint matters? See, in regards to attention directs attention, the thing to realize about that is there are also forces in the world. They're not quite present and deliberate about what they're doing. I want to believe that, because what they're doing is divisive. What they're doing is harmful. What they're doing is disempowering humanity. So I got to give them the benefit of the doubt, forgive them in advance, for they know not what they do. But what they do understand is how attention directs attention. And so what they'll end up doing is they will kill the competition, kill the distraction. Whatever's taking attention away from my product, they'll buy it and they'll shelve it so that their product gets all the attention. This probably goes back to Rockefeller and his competition is good. Or no, he hated competition. Rockefeller, that's one of his quotes, right? I hate competition. So it probably goes back to his days and his influence in our MBA programs and everything else that has made this a standard practice in the corporate world. To me, it just seems dishonest. Don't you want your product to stand out on its own merits? Don't you want your product to be your pride and joy, and you want to show it off to the world? Or do you just want to sell some piece of junk? Those kind of motives are the ones that try to dominate the market, try to eliminate all competition that might redirect somebody's attention. The Democrats and the Republicans have been doing this for far too long in our country with our elections. Do you want Democrat or Republican? That's your only two choices. Oh, those guys? Oh, they're nobody. They won't do anything. They won't amount to a hill of beans. There's only two major parties in this country. You didn't know that? Yeah. And we'll forever be the two major parties. We'll never share the limelight with any other parties, even though our federal government has three branches to check and balance them. Why don't we have three political parties that check and balance themselves? It seems like logical common sense to me. But again, this is the insanity of the world that I feel like is an invitation to go crazy myself. And I'm like, nope, not going to do that. I'm going to stay present to myself and make decisions on my own understanding through firsthand experience, not because somebody said it, not because some outside authority was like, you need to do this. You need to, I know more than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm more experienced than you. You need to listen to me. Well, I grant you that. You might have more experience than me. I'm open to listening to you, but I don't need to. And I certainly, without a doubt, don't believe that you have something I don't have. That's the biggest lie ever told on this planet. That I am more than you are. When we're at the end of the day, we all are born, we all die, and that's it. It's that simple. Attention directs attention. Moving forward, don't forget the bonus. Share this live right now. Message me with a message done, and you'll get your firsthand experience of a present moment perspective ASAP. Quickest way. Make it happen. Or, like I mentioned before, just leave the hashtag found fun. Oops. Well, that's not supposed to be title. That's supposed to be a crawler. Or just leave a hashtag found fun down below. And when I see it, I'll DM you with the details of joining my mailing list so that you can get a complimentary firsthand experience of a present moment perspective. We are rounding the corner. Aren't you happy? Now you can go give your attention to something else worthwhile after you're done watching this video. So we just explored 3 reasons why learning to focus your attention matters. I'm supposed to clap. I'm not sure if that helps with the editing or what, but here we go. Speedy recap. Number 1, leverage. You want leverage? Learn to manage your attention. Learn to direct it. Learn to grow it, develop it. And that leverage, obviously, will allow you to set yourself apart. The leverage of being able to direct your attention. The leverage will set you apart. But then the other part, what else sets you apart, I would argue even greater, is your self-awareness. Just like that little iceberg, right? Remember the little iceberg? Just like that iceberg, you're more aware of your consciousness. Therefore, you have less pitfalls to avoid. You're more aware of your consciousness. Therefore, you're more intimate with your heart's desires and know what you want in this life and what you're committed to manifesting in your life. Set yourself apart by being more self-aware. Number 3, attention creates. You withdraw your attention from something long enough. Think of a fad, like bell bottoms. No, I don't know. Maybe they're coming back now or something. They seem to ebb and wane. Is that it? Ebb and wane? I don't know if that's ebb and flow. When it comes to fads, they seem to come and go. That's what I'm That's the point I'm making. But if you notice, there's something that was super popular. Everyone wanted to have it, the Beanie Babies or whatever. And now nobody. Crickets. Same thing's going to happen with the prospect of World War III. Stick with me. Let's align our attention on creating a world of prosperity, a utopia, not a dystopia like the warmongers that are making billions of dollars on their life-taking weapons. Let's put them out of business. Let's show them how you really prosper in this world, how you really thrive in this world by serving the greater good, by making a difference in the world that leads to a better world, that nourishes and enriches our world, doesn't destroy it, doesn't lead to more pain and more suffering. I'm talking to you guys directly. You cannot make an argument for your weapons that I really would sway me from the error in your ways. It's easy money. I know. I understand. The temptation is real. What we have to do when we comes to the more stubborn parts of our society and the collective consciousness is we need to take a page out of Jesus's book and practice the art of forgiveness. It doesn't do any good to hate them any more than they're already hating themselves, the world, or whatever else. Forgiveness is a powerful, powerful tool. It can only be realized through self-awareness. Because until that happens, it's only perceived as weakness in a vicious dog-eat-dog, egocentric world where people can pull a trigger and kill another human without a thought, without a care in the world. That's our sickness. That is our collective sickness, that's even possible. I love that you are here learning more about yourself. Don't forget the bonus, attention directs attention. So in any given moment, the more self-aware you are, the more aware you are of what your attention is on. That is the practical value of self-awareness, is to be aware of what my attention is on and redirect it at will towards a more beneficial place. If my attention is stuck on being afraid of a nuclear holocaust, well, obviously I am snowballing that into a possibility. Don't want that. Be aware of it. As you're walking down a path and you see a gaping hole in the path, are you going to keep walking and just step right in the hole? Or are you going to notice it, be aware of it, and circumvent it, walk around it? Not deny it, not ignore that it's there, and certainly not obsess about it. These are the three choices we have. It's so simple, isn't it? It all comes clearer and clearer the more self-aware you become. Don't forget your bonus. I'm here ready to deliver. Where am I going here? So I appreciate you being here. Remember to tune in Thursdays, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to catch me live here on Facebook, on my YouTube channel. Namaste. And if you're a diehard expert or entrepreneur serving the greater good, let's get in touch. We want to work together. We want to unite the light and defeat the dark. My last thought is the fastest way to get to where you want in life is with a guide who's been there before. I so appreciate you being here and taking the 49 minutes to watch my live stream. I will I look forward to going back through the comments and seeing all that you gained from this and all the ahas, the hashtag found funds, and reach out to the ones of you that are ready to have your own complimentary firsthand experience of a present moment perspective. Until next Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. To take care, stay aware.